Hey, hello everyone. On this recording, I'm going to show you three different ways to animate your text. So the first method is the one that you should be already familiar with by working on the previous After Effects project, is using the transform option to animate your text. So you can have the option of changing position, changing scale, rotation, and opacity. And I will strongly encourage you use the shortcut. So instead of opening the list and find transform, require a lot of clicking, you can just click on keyboard P for position, S for scale, R for rotation, T for opacity, and anchor point. I don't use it as much, so I actually don't remember A, of course. A is the shortcut for anchor point. Okay, so that way we'll save you some time. So let's do a quick demonstration using position. So this should be pretty straightforward. You can set up a keyframe for the change of position. So you need to have at least two keyframes in the timeline to have the animation working. Okay, so this is a very straightforward to animate your text. And of course, you can add a little bit ease. So the animation on the timing of the animation will have a little bit variation. So it'll look a little bit kind of nicer. And using this method, you have to break your text into separate layer if you want the animation to happen differently. So for example, hello is coming from the top and how are maybe will coming from the left. So I'll add a keyframe first, and then over here, I'll have it moving from the left. Okay, so now you can see the animation, they will be coming from different places. And if they are all in the same layer, you won't be able to animate them separately. Okay, so using this method, it will allow you more freedom, but you will have more text layer to do the different modification. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about method number 2. So method number 2 is a little bit more advanced. One advantage of method number 2 is you can combine the layer into one text layer here, but you can still animate them separately with different timing. So I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. Okay, instead of animating under transform, you will add a animator by, first of all, open up the layer, and then here under animate, you will see similar kind of option you see under transform. So we'll do a similar one with the position. Okay, so let's add a position, and you will see an animator. Now it's added under text. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. So to add using the animator for any type of the movement, first of all, you will apply an animator on the position where you want your animation to be ended. Also in this case, something like this. And next, we wanted to create the change of position. So in this case, maybe I want the text to kind of fall down from the top. Okay, so we will modify the position to show that change. Okay, so I'm just gonna like change the y-axis and move the text to the top. And you don't actually need a keyframe on the position here. Okay, so you just need to move your text to the place where you want it to start. Okay, so we still need to have a keyframe to make the animation happen. And where you're going to add animation is under range selector, and we will animate the start. Okay, so you can see when we change the percentage of the start, it will create a change the position from what you started here, which is now 0%. And then based on the percentage, when it's 100%, it will transform to where we apply the animator, if that makes sense. Okay, so now to add the animation, we will create a keyframe where I want the animation to end it, and I'll move the playhead before the end of animation and change it to 0%. And we have this animation of the each of the character falling down. Okay, so the cool thing about this method, Animator, is you can actually have the option to change it to have animation affect every character, or I'll show you where I've opened the list. So if you open the Advanced tab, you will see under Based on, the default is character. You can change it to word. So now is the animation will happen word by word. Pretty cool. And also you can have the animation happen line by line. Okay, so you have the option. So you can actually have variation of animation using Animator, even they are in the same text layer. Okay, so there's other things you can play with the variation. A little tip for you, if you decide to do word by word, but the animation based on your audio, they don't kind of happen the same speed from 0% to 100%. So how can you modify the speed in this case? So for example, maybe the audio is hello, it lasts for half a second, and then how are you doing, like coming very fast afterward. But now you can see the animation, they are just evenly spread out. Okay, so if you want to have change of timing, even they're in the same layer, you can just modify the percentage here on the keyframe. So it's pretty simple. So you can see hello, it's falling in place around 24%. So we can just add a keyframe here. And I can copy this 24% keyframe and just paste it. So you can see now hello will have a pause in between. And you can have this pause as long as you want. So you can see the hello will pause there for a little bit, and then the rest will fall down much faster. Okay, so you can align your audio, align the words based on the audio just by modifying your keyframe. So hopefully that makes sense. So you can see now, hello, pause a little bit, how pause a little bit, and how are you doing happen real quick. So you can just modify the speed of how the percentage move. Then you can align your text with your audio. Okay, so one more thing about the Animator is you can actually stack your animation. So for example, I can add another opacity in additional to the position. So that's pretty similar for what you can do. So I just changed the percentage to 0%. So now you can see the animation. In additional to the change of position, there's also change of the opacity from 0% to 100%. Okay, so you can play with on the Animator, and then you can adjust the whatever animation you want. You can also do rotation or scale, and that will give you lots of different interesting animation result. Okay, so you can experience on your own. Okay, and next is the third way of animating your text. Okay, so I guess I will copy this layer and just going to delete the, by the way, if you want to remove the animator effect, you can just delete that animator and that will be gone. Okay. Okay, the third method is using animation preset. So you can go to Window, open Effect and Presets. And under the presets, there's actually one tab specific for text. And you will have a lot of different options. Where's the text? Let me see. Okay. So it's under text. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of effect. So under animation preset. Okay, so here. Oh, okay. So it's not the if you just open the text, there's not a lot of option. There's only number and time code. So you will have to find under animation preset and under text. There's a lot of different preset you can apply. So applying preset is couldn't be easier. You can go through the different folder and just experiment, and applying preset is very quick and simple just by dragging and apply that in your text layer. Okay. So here, as you can see, you can pick whatever effect you want and just drag it on your text. And then you will see the animation added under text. And this is the effect we just added. And you can see the keyframe is under offset. So just like that. Okay, so this is probably the easiest one. But I think the hard part is finding the right animation that fit your need. And you can still kind of adjust the speed. So a little tip for you is if you want to adjust the speed of the preset animation, make it faster, make it slower, or make it synchronize with the word a little bit better, kind of using the same method I showed you earlier. You can just by kind of adding more keyframes, so the animation will synchronize with the words a little bit better. And the shortcut for you, since you can see finding the keyframe, you have to open a lot of lists. So using the shortcut U for umbrella, then it will open up the keyframe on the whatever under hidden under your layer. It will open up only the places that have keyframe apply on. So this will save you a lot of time. Okay. And if you want to delete the animator, you can just find the animator and hit delete. And you can see that now that effect is gone. And you can apply different type of animation. Okay, I'm just gonna randomly choose a few and just see how it look. And as you can see, pretty crazy animation here. And then you can hit U on that keyframe. Oh, okay, interesting. This one, maybe this one doesn't have keyframe for some reason. Oh, hello, how are you doing? Okay, interesting. Okay, that's a downside of me not kind of testing it on whatever effect I'm using. So, okay, let's try bullet train. Okay, I think you can also double click on it instead of dragging it. That will work too. And you can see this one has keyframe. The bullet train animation is now edit, and you can hit U to see the effect, and you can move it further away so the animation will be slower, and you can move it closer, or you can move it in the middle so the animation is not appear later. Okay, so you can play around with different effect, and definitely I encourage you to choose a effect that is a little bit simpler. I think the bullet train actually it's pretty simple. But earlier you can see the one I picked, like the blue note, that one is a little bit too much. Another one I think it's pretty simple that won't take too much away from the animation itself is the typewriter. The typewriter effect, I'm just gonna undo. Okay, it's literally just typing out the word. So this is also a good way that you don't have to do too much of the work, but the effect can really help guiding the viewer to read your content. And of course, you can modify the keyframe, make it closer, further, or if you want to pause a word using the same method, adding additional keyframe to have that 28% linger a little bit longer. So there will be a little bit pause in between the typewriter effect. So this is the way that you can modify the preset, the timing, so it will synchronize with your audio. Okay, so you can have fun with preset, but again, definitely want to remind you, don't go overboard and too crazy on the preset. And if you use something too much on that, it will kind of like using Photoshop filter, and then obviously look like a filter, or obviously look like a preset. That it just if it didn't really match with on the animation of like whatever you're working on, the preset could be something distracting instead of helping your project. Okay, so but I think knowing the preset, knowing there's something that you can do it really quickly to enhance the visual of your animation, I think it's something good to know. Okay, so these are the 3 different methods to animate text, and hopefully this will be helpful, and you can, based on your need, to set up the order of your layer.